Going to turn our attention now to gang violence. It is certainly prevalent and dangerous throughout the nation, but also here in Connecticut. So here to explain a little bit more about the issue and the warning signs, also how to protect teens, as well as a new book, is author and motivational speaker, Dr. Ray Ransom. Good to see you, Doctor. How are you?
Pleased to meet you.
The book is called Gangster to Doctor. First, just begin by telling us a little bit about your story, because it's fascinating.
Yeah, at age 7, I made a promise to a grandmother to become a medical doctor. And in keeping that promise, I was able to become a PhD eventually, but during the way, I was bullied at age 12 and decided to not be bullied anymore, and took martial arts, and 4 years later was a master. Turned the tides on bullies, but I couldn't turn that euphoric feeling off of having succeeded in beating the bullies. I ended up becoming a gangster at that time, and my mother worked at nighttime, so she didn't know I was actually involved in gangster activity, and I went to school during the day. Eventually, I pursued getting on the right path and had a problem after that, and ended up going back into the gangster lifestyle, ended up serving 17 years in federal prison as a result of that second time.
What made you get into gangs?
Originally, the bullying thing made me get into the gangs. The second time, it was a situation concerning my father being killed at the time by law enforcement, and it was just bad time economically, and thought I could make money in the drug business at the time.
Sure. Why do you think so many young kids get into gangs? Is it for protection from other kids or maybe other gangs?
That could be a part of it, but the main thing is that they don't receive enough of the affection from home, and they seek it out in the streets among those individuals in gangs. And another thing is that there's a draw in terms of the financial aspect. They don't have the money. Kids want money. So they can go and get in the gangs, they sell the drugs, they rob and steal and do what they have to do to get the money.
So what can be done to keep kids out of gangs?
There are a number of things that can be done. Parents should look for certain things as far as that's concerned. The decline in grades and attendance is one thing. You know, and you ask the kids proudly admit, if you would ask them, whether or not they socialize with known gang members. And then they may reveal certain things, certain signs, such as a dramatic change in speech, appearance, or behavior. And they end old relationships with old friends and start them with new friends who are evasive. And they may display an unexplained amount of cash, jewelry, or new clothing, things like that the parents should look for.
Sure. Is this a societal problem? Is it a parenting issue?
It's a generation that mainly new kids are coming in now. You have a tremendous amount of young people who are getting involved with the gangs because they don't know any better. They don't know that the end result in a situation like that are either two things. We call it the two Ps. That's either prison or a pine box. And most kids actually get out after 1/2 to 3/4 of the kids that get in gangs get out at the end of 1 year. Some are scarred as a result of that. But they do get out because they find it's not the thing to do.
So talk a little bit about your book, Gangster to Doctor. This is about your story. Who would this book be good for? Who would benefit from reading this book?
It's an inspirational book, overcoming adversity. Parents would benefit from it because it gives them somewhat of a roadmap of how I started. I actually went to work at age 13, you know, by lying about my age, and got a job, and how if they turn things back to the old school days of doing things, where you sit down at the table and you eat with the kids and you explain things to them, you make them get a job at age 16 or as soon as they can work, contribute towards the family, the more family-oriented environment, they'll learn that in the book. They will learn things about real estate, how I was able to succeed and retire, things about prison, how they don't want their child to go to prison because of what they read in that book.
As a motivational speaker, as somebody who basically was in that gang life and now really made a success out of himself, what do you tell young kids? What do you tell adults? What's the key, or a couple of keys, to being successful?
It's an illusion. If they decide the gang life is really an illusion, it's some place that they really don't want to be. It's a very deadly lifestyle, and to keep yourself from falling into that, you need to stay focused. I mean, I use the M's. You have mother. Mother needs to be more assertive in terms of the family. You need mentors. If the father's not there, utilize an uncle or older brother, someone else. Martial arts is a prime thing for teaching discipline for the kids, and I think they should implement that into the schools. A mission, set a mission, and sit down with your child and set a 90-day goal, and then set also a 5-year goal, and go over that, and have the child repeat that and follow that.
Ray, if somebody wants to pick up Gangster to Doctor, where do they get it?
Gangstertodoctor.com.
Okay, buy it there. Dr. Ray Ransom, good to see you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right.